Hello and welcome to another Attract Mode, presented by the Lady Arcaders. I'm your host for the evening, ValeriaAsteria. We are an all-women and femmes gaming collective showcasing the talent and passions of women in gaming twice a week, whether it actually involves video games or not. Before we jump into tonight's feature, I want you to know that tickets are on sale for our second in-person event, Out of Bounds 2 Ronto. It'll span 2 days on June 15th and the 16th in Toronto, and there will be so many games. So, if you want to grab those tickets and see what's on the schedule for it, head on over to ldy.gg/OOB2. That's a mouthful, but it should be in the chat. All that said, tonight we're once again focusing on the crafting side of our hobbies. Plastic model kits to be exact. Sanjan is here to build some Gunpla and give us a rundown of the process while they're at it. I'll be getting in on it too on my end. So let's jump in. Sanjan, how's it going? How's it going?
Why, hello there. Thanks, Vale. It's going good. So as you've seen here, I'm building a Gunpla, specifically this one. So this is what we call an SD Gunpla. It's pretty small. It's like it's like a nice little introductory Gunpla. I do have other Gunpla to build, but I have there's different. So to introduce ourselves, before we introduce ourselves, because I forget these things, there's a couple different kind of just like grades. And this one's one of the easier ones to get into because if I was building like one of the bigger ones, we'd be here for 10 hours because I'm pretty detailed. But anyhow, I'll introduce myself. I'm Sanjan. I do speedruns amongst other things. But today we get to dive a little bit into my creative side, and let me introduce Zoku as well. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm Zoku. I occasionally get mistaken for Sanjan. But
True
I
story.
don't do speedruns or plastic model building, so I'm here to learn and be the chat questioner, the voice of chat. Or chat knows better than me, so chat can answer my questions as well.
And I'm here to see how far I can get in a much more complicated kit. It is a real grade, which is like the smaller size, but like super detailed ones.
Yeah, so as I alluded to, there's different grades. The more standard one is the high grade, which takes about like a couple hours, and then there's a more upgraded version of that one, which is a real grade. So that's like much more detailed. And then there's the master grade, which is the bigger one, and then the biggest one is called the perfect grade, which if you've seen like those really like almost giant ones that are like just like this, just like bigger than like just as big as like the length of this webcam. They're pretty big, and I built 2 of them, and for reference, those took like a month on and off to build. But we're gonna start a little small here, and before we dive in, I will introduce y'all like general tricks of the trade. So I'm going to open it up here because this is literally unopened. Like everyone else here, we're gonna find out what's inside.
So you mentioned that you've built a tall. I was about to say tall geese. That's a specific model of Gundam. So
That's what I'm building.
Yeah, that's the one Bill's building.
Oh my god,
that's from Wing, right?
Yeah. First
so you
villain
built the
suit.
tall one before, but did the 2 of you build plastic models often?
I did a lot like a couple years back. I kind of stopped mainly because I didn't have room in my display case. I was definitely very normal about it. Trademark, but I got just like, oh no, I ran out of room. So yep, here's the inside of it. As you see, there's a lot of plasticky stuff, and then there's stickers, which we'll be getting into a little later, and then an instruction booklet on how to build it. Let's see, the webcam can capture it. So this is like really helpful, just mainly because there's a comic in here too. That's funny. But yeah, in here is like,
are very cute like that.
yeah. So this is, so it gives you like an instruction booklet here. Sorry, I should flip this. So like it shows you like all the different parts and then just like a step-by-step detail on
I
that.
appreciate that it is a bird type support mech.
It is Robin Hood. It looks like Robin Hood. Very cute.
Oh yeah, it's got the bow and arrow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so the main difference is like how long it takes, and I think especially if you get into just like wanting to like do the little more advanced stuff, especially like sanding it, or just like spray painting it, or like combining parts, which that is not my expertise. I have never spray painted anything, but there's some like really cool custom creations that people have done. But yeah, so in terms of like getting into this hobby like money wise, like you can definitely just start like incredibly cheap. Like I think I bought this kit for like $16-17 or so on some websites.
Huh.
So like
that still looks like pretty detailed for like $16-17.
yeah, like I personally like, and also just like the bare minimum like you need is just like a pair of clippers like these. And there's like you can get kits, like basic tool set kits, which you definitely don't need, but I get it just mainly because like I can. But these, you can get these for just like pretty good prices, like maybe like a few dollars. But yeah, so this is just like the bare minimum tool that you need, and this is just mainly to like clip the plastic. I do have some like slightly fancier tools here. So I think back then these were just like known as like the best clippers, mainly because like these are just like pretty sharp and like they give like a really sharp cut. I'll go over to like my personal techniques for doing that, and then generally it's like I get into like more like basic-ish stuff. So these are markers, or like you can just like kind of like do outlining, and it makes it just like pop out really nice, much nicer. So I personally do that just because I'm that type of person. And then when I mention stickers, generally you would want a pair of tweezers to put them in neatly. You don't need it. Like I said, the bare minimum tool that you need is like clipper like these. So it's very, very cheap to get into. Like you probably just like get started with just like $20 or so. So give me a moment while I put these instructions up. And a lot of the fun in this is just like being able to just like piece things together, and then once you see like the full product, you're like, ooh, it's so shiny. Yeah.
Can you pose them? Can you play with them sometimes?
The really fun part is just like posing them, especially like the bigger ones. So what I usually do is open all of these up here. I just open up all of these at once. I do have a more like sort of refined-ish process for the much bigger ones, because like when, for example, like when I first opened my perfect grade one, it was like in this huge box and there's just like 20 of these, 20, 30 of these, and I'm just like, this is overwhelming. So sometimes like for bigger ones,
Feels like a lot.
so sometimes for those I just like only open the ones that I need like at a time, or just like I read the instructions beforehand. But yeah, some tools in the tray that I have as well, like if I need to, like if I need want like a really clean cut, I have X-Acto knives as well. But generally the technique I like to start using just to mainly preserve like the sharpness of these is just that you'll see later on, but I'll clip with these first and then I'll do like a closer clip with these. But yeah, there's similar ones too. There's there's like similar ones that you can think of, like of course like Legos, Nanoblocks. And yeah, I have heard of the Bandai Pokemon
incredibly
kits.
stupid question.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's no silly
Why
questions.
nippers?
Nippers?
Well, because it's silly because I know the answer already, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Why are nippers preferred to use as compared to like twisting the pieces off the plastic frames?
So these are like So I'm trying to. Sorry, I'm trying to like cook up an explanation. So you can like use these with your hands or just like, but it generally doesn't make a clean cut because like for example like if I try to use my hands like I can like twist the plastic or just like rip off more than I should. And generally like if you see here like these like these are molded just like with you being able to do like really close cuts. So like if you see
it pinches a little.
Yeah. So you can use. So I generally can use this like at the end, like after I clip, and then just like twist it slightly. You can, but like honestly, you can do it with just purely your hands. It's just like gonna take time, and like this is like some of the plastic here is pretty prickly, I should say. But some of these parts are also just like designed to be like very easy to take off.
You'll find that some of them are like connected really thick and some of them are connected really thin. And like if you try to tear off those thick ones, you're gonna literally be tearing plastic and have these big white gashes on them.
Okay, yeah, that doesn't sound like it would make for a good robot look. Actually, you know what? Maybe it does.
Battle damage beforehand.
Yeah. So right now what I'm doing is I'm looking at the full instructions here. Generally like they'll kind of tell you which parts you need. Oh, sorry. So Preface is sort of like my first time introducing like doing like these building types of streams. So I should mention that each of these are labeled with like a letter and then like a number. So you have like E1. And then you have like A, and then they'll correspond to just like on the instructions here. Like for example, like if you see they're building the head first, so you have F2, which corresponds to this portion.
Oh, so all the like, there's got to be a better word, right? They're not called frames, but like each little plastic frame, like all of it, like holds one particular piece that you can eventually snap together, like a Voltron.
Yeah. So
totally different robot anime, Zoku.
Yeah. Yeah. So like
frames are the technical term for it, I believe.
Yeah, that's what I call them. So there's just like a parts number. So even beforehand, like if you see, let me see if the camera can catch this. So like if not, I'll try to describe it. But in here, there's sort of like a number 1 inscription. And so like this maps, and I'll grab a bigger one here, and then these all have corresponding numbers. So like there's 1, 2, and then if they have like the same number, that means like you can use them interchangeably. So like these are both like the same parts. Generally because like for example, shoulder lengthwise, like they might use like the same base for the shoulders, for example.
That's pretty neat.
And then so like generally also with the way they like mold all of these, you might have leftover parts. Sometimes like generally that's fine because like sometimes like they use molds from like different Gundams, and some of them just happen to not be used. So what I usually do is just like if I have leftover parts, I'll clip them out and then I just store them in just like a container full of like random Gundam parts.
We love a hobby that lets you reuse.
I've actually come into a situation where having those extra parts, because they're so similar to a different kit, when a piece broke for the part, I was able to construct something new, though a little different. Specifically with the Edel from Gundam Age, it came with the parts for an Age arm that I could just replace a broken arm with.
Yeah, you could do like various things. You put in a plastic bag with a manual. I actually like have my manuals all stored in just like one of those stackable containers. and then like I just like personally like toss all the parts. But I also forgot one little fun kind of just like thing that you can also buy. So this is like a type of super glue that is made for plastic. Like I've cracked plastic before, and I primarily, like for example, use this to like glue it back together or so. So not needed, but this is a useful thing to fix with. And by the way, this smells quite a bit and can be dangerous to handle, so try not to get it on your hand. I've done that before, and that was I regret my life decisions.
I believe it actually like rebonds the polymers together with it, so it's like it's powerful stuff.
Yeah. It's like similar-ish to like super glue. I'm disclaimer, I am not an expert in chemistry. So, but yeah, so I'm gonna start off building the head part, and also like just remind me if I'm not like centering this like the best I can. And let me see if I can actually pull this a little closer. There we go. That actually looks much better. So, first thing I'm going to do generally is, so I have these. So this head has just like this little like kind of nub, and then I'll clip it like this, like a little bit further before. Like I don't need to do like any detailed stuff, and then it goes off just like that. So as you see here, like because like it was already like pretty close, like it looks pretty good. But if it like any of the like what we call it nubs, like the little parts like stick out, if the nubs are like really noticeable, then like I will generally get like some sandpaper and sand it out. Where's my sand? Just put that one there. But yeah, here's the fun little headpiece, and then the instructions is telling me I need to find D1. So I have D1 here, and then it'll tell me the number, and in this case it's 4, so I am just going to flip this off. Oop. So actually generally I leave all of this on the side here and grab what I need. That's just, I think most people like have their own way of handling this, but since I'm trying to, I want to showcase this, I will mainly try to be a little clean. So I do see like a little nub here. I'll generally like target that with like these clippers. We're just gonna move my mic a little bit here so I can get closer without shrimping too much. Posture check for everyone, because when you build these things, you can very easily get locked in. Okay. Oh, actually, it's already pretty good, but yeah. So now it's telling me that I should be connecting these two together. So there's like, so as you see here, there's like a little hole here. And then here, there's the corresponding, it's hard to see because it's red. Let me see. You'll see here that there's like a little area where you can insert in. And then here you can just put it in just like that. And then you have the beginnings of the Gundam's head. So also from here, as you can see, it's going to tell me to put on the sticker. And where's my sticker? So it's telling me to put on stickers 6 and 7. So I'll try to showcase that as best I can here. Yeah, so 6 and 7 are pretty much just like the head, the eyes, and like the little mouthpiece. Grab my tweezers, just mainly because if I do not use tweezers, I'm not a very precise person with these. Of like using my fingers, so like, let's see. So here. So I try to like sort of like judge it by like the middle-ish, but Stickers are what I call a blessing and a curse. So I like got these stickers wrong. There we go. That looks a lot better.
Stickers seem really, really hard to get right on something, on like pieces so small.
Yeah, I've had to do it on like really, really small pieces, and it was just like such a bother. I'm not sure what your experience has been with that, Valeria. Oh my goodness. Do I need to put this further down?
Had some range.
Hold up. I gotta like look at instructions.
I actually will often use the X-Acto blade to help position it sometimes, and then just press it in. So it's sort of like
in
tweezers.
chat that toothpicks are an option someone has used.
Yeah.
I never considered toothpicks. That's pretty interesting. Yeah, this is a case of me already like trying to understand the instructions. This is the process. Okay, I think so it was here. I think this has to be here. Like I think I was supposed to put on this.
What I'm getting.
I was supposed to put the sticker on like ideally before I put on the mouthpiece, but that's okay. I think this works though.
Luckily, even though these are usually Japanese products and all the text is in Japanese, most of the text, it's pretty much visual, and there's like...
So it really is IKEA
images.
on a smaller scale.
Yeah, it's IKEA on a smaller scale, but there you go, one sticker down. I think stickers are like also kind of my bane. It looks nice enough.
It looks aligned, which is much better than I can do. I'm a perfectionist.
It's sticker
so
number 7.
I would get so frustrated about like it being slightly off. Is that like something the two of you have experienced?
I experienced this. I experienced the existential dread of it just like looking like one IRL pixel off, and I'm just like, and like I can only think about it for the next 5 years of my life.
What really gets me is when they want the sticker to be on something that has geometry, like it has raised surfaces. This is usually how the eyes work, and like I want it to hug each edge of the surface, and sometimes it's just not possible.
Oh, yeah. So like, oh, I forgot to mention, water stickers are also a thing. The nice pro about water stickers is that water stickers stick for longer and they look more natural because it sort of like blends in. But they are much harder to like apply, and generally like there are special like kind of just like stickers like these mark setters and mark softeners that will like help them blend in nicer. I think most modern kits don't have them these days.
Yeah, usually it's the dry transfer ones. I did get to do the water stickers once though, and honestly it was kind of fun.
So like now I had to like align these. I use my fingers for this one just because this time it's like a little easier. Oh my god, it's a little off. I cannot unsee this. I cannot unsee this. Okay, I think we have to... I'm gonna try to be detailed with this. I'm also trying to get this in the camera as much as possible, like... So, forgive me if we do not see as much of the camera for this. It is actually, like, a little difficult with these stickers.
It's definitely visible on camera.
Okay.
That you're trying to align it.
Yeah, I have no fear, except I have one fear, and it is stickers. However you say that mean, but yeah, it looks... I think it looks nice. It has, like, cool sunglasses, too.
Are those I thought they were eyes.
These? The green? Yeah, these are...
Yeah.
It's so, like, the Gundams have, like, eyes, yeah.
Uh-huh.
especially like SD Warrior and heroes like this will have the cartoony eyes too.
Yeah.
You'll find certain ones that have the normal, like, just that is a monitor eye.
Yeah, the more regular ones, like, might have, like, just, like, 2 separate eyes that you apply, or just, like, one altogether. Like, it'll vary.
Which this one was.
Yeah. Like, since this one is, SDW, which is, like, more chibi-like, that's why they have, like, the more stylized eyes. Yeah, it's a goofy little robot head. Alright, and then... And yeah, also just sometimes the instructions are a thing, TM. And they make you do, like, strange things. So now we're applying, like, the armor for the head, so I'm looking for D1, 8, and 7. So it's these two. I will, like, since these have, like, I will try also, like, to keep track of, like, their differences, just mainly because, like, these are for specific sides of the head, so, like, I'll put them, like, in order. Like, after, like, I finish clipping them. So there's 8. I, too, love robots. Who loves robots?
I believe there was a theme song for Megas XLR that told about everybody who loves giant robots.
Does zoom out?
I need to find this now.
So, I'm checking here to see if there's any just, like, loose nubs. Which, honestly, like, because these parts are... Like, this part is just, like... Or, like, these cuts are just, like, generally pretty well done. So, like, I don't need to, like, do much sanding or anything. Normally with my other ones, I'm just, like, very, very particular about the little stuff. So this is 7 and 8. So, generally, I have to put this here. And, this is 7. So... And so, I guess you might, like, see it mirrored, just mainly because, like, the way my webcam's set up, so forgive me. I will flip it out over in a moment here as soon as I can figure this out. Right now, it feels like rocket science figuring this out.
I mean, you are building a robot, which many would say is a feat of engineering.
True.
It probably has rockets on it.
Yeah, so I know this is mainly D18 just because of, like, the little difference parts-wise on it, I think. There's, like, a little part that attaches to the sides here. Oh. Wait. Be cooking? My goodness. Oh, there we go. I did it. Yeah, it takes a lot of the battle is also just like trying to understand the instructions, because there's many times where like I have messed up instructions, like forgot a part, and then I had to take it apart again, or like take the whole thing apart and then redo the whole thing, and it's just like, no. But yeah, here's the head. And then next thing on the list is G2, 10, and 11. So I gotta find the G's. I think G is like the green one. So there's 10 and 11. Yeah, also generally like, if I want like more precise cut, like you'll notice, like you might notice it, but I'm cutting more on the outside with like these clippers, since they're a little bit more dull. Like if you try to cut, if you cut these like too close, then it can leave like kind of like marks that are pretty noticeable. So that's why I try not to cut like way too close to here. I like cut just like a little bit off.
Those are similar to the ones that I have, and I found that what I like about them in comparison to the other sharper ones is that they have a smaller head, usually, so for some pieces it's easier to get in there. But the way you're doing it is like the ideal way for it. Like you cut a little ways and then you get the more precise one in without everything in the way.
Yeah, so here, like, I'm noticing, like, a more noticeable one. So, I might, like, slightly sand it. Like, this one also, like, has something somewhat noticeable. Hopefully I don't sand too much. Yeah, it's more noticeable, like, in my eyes, but, like, I think on camera, like, it's not as noticeable. But I'm just someone, again, who's just, like, very particular. I am very normal about robot building.
I will spend too much time making sure there's no nubs.
That is just like me in a nutshell when I build these.
So is that what the sanding is for? Like you mentioned sanding earlier, like to get rid of like any nubs that
yeah,
it's
it's like to smoothen it out. So like, I don't know. I'm a little rusty on it, so like this has like a more harder grit and then like the softer one to like finish it off. So like, I'm sure there's a more precise way to do it, but since this is like already pretty good, like I'm not fussing too much over it. So now I have to. So I'm just trying to find out like how these are connected. Ideally. So what's for this? Let's see. Yeah, sometimes like when I forget like which one is which, like I try to look at like the more detailed stuff. I think, okay, I see where I'm going with this. So this connects to up here. Hello? Is it this one? There we go. Okay. And then I'm not sure chat can hear like the piece of snapping ASMR.
Oh, I heard the snap.
Definitely
it was
heard
like,
that one.
What?
That was good.
There we go.
Yeah. That's so satisfying.
I was just thinking, we're also missing out on like the ASMR of like having the snips because those are too quiet.
Yes, I have not been hearing the snips, but that snap was...
It has a little bowl on its head. Yeah, unfortunately we don't get to hear it because I think my mic has too much of a filter for that. But it's okay,
Yep.
we get the second best, or get the other nice one, which is these pieces snapping. So, alright. Okay, so it's telling me to connect this to another piece, except I also have to put on more stickers. So this is G29. Where's that at? Which is this
So,
piece.
like, in my head, it makes sense to put stickers on, like, before you snap them to... sorry. It makes sense to snap them together and then put stickers on. That's what makes sense in my head, but... You put stickers on before putting the pieces. Like, are you not worried that you might end up rubbing or like shifting the stickers?
So
This goes to either of you because I haven't built any of these before.
I think generally based on the instructions, if I put it on after, it's really hard to like apply it. So like I think in this case they recommend doing it before. Mainly because of
it really
that.
Depends on the piece.
Yeah. So there's like I don't think it needs to be sand, I just need it to be smoothed out.
But to clarify, yes, that is a fear when doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, they do also go behind other parts. Like, for example, once this snaps, like, you won't be able to like apply these pieces. So I guess we'll be seeing here in a moment here, since I figured this out. Which piece goes where? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I think that's just like its crest. Oh, okay. I thought for a second these were just all like stuck together crests, and I'm just like, oh no. Yeah, this is just like for the crown on its head. So let me see. Sorry, I'm just trying to like read this. I think. Really? It's on the side? Did I cut the wrong one? I did not. G29. So it's like this, and then... Oh, I see. I don't know why I was looking at this one. So these connect here. So, like... Yeah, so this is probably because, like, this is going up here, and then eventually going to be covered. That's probably why they had it applied first, but... Yeah, like, generally, like, I'll use, like, the back of this to smooth it out, and then... I'll do the middle one last, because that looks like the hardest. Thankfully, this one wasn't as bad as putting the eyes on. And its little mouth. Let's see. And its little crown. Yeah, so these stickers also like have like little bends. Because they do, because in this case like it naturally bends, so one thing I tend to do is just like put it on like layer it up on one side and then fold it, and then generally like most of the time it'll look nicer once it's all set up. Actually, that looks not too shabby. So yeah, here's the stickers. Or here's the piece with stickers. I think the only part is that like part of it went out, but I think it's otherwise I think it looks okay. Let me see. Yeah. And then now these pieces got to snap together. And I think based on like I try to use these holes to guide, so like as you see here, there's like the little connector parts here, and then there's little holes. Like I tried to also use that as like a general good guide. So let's see if there we go. We have a little Robin Hood head. Complete, I believe. Or close to it.
Cute.
It looks very different from when you were
yeah,
putting the eyes on earlier.
Yeah. I gotta put on like the little horns on it, so where's D? So it needs D and B. So we have D1, 6, and 5. Yeah, also like there might be confusion between like the 9 and then the 6, but they clearly mark the 6 here with like the little line under, so it makes it even easier. Like the instruction, like the little like enhancements and stuff like they do, because I'm sure like there's like a lot of like many people from many parts of the world building these. It's just like really cool. 6. And then 5, and then Honestly, like, I think with the way this is built, like, it doesn't need much sanding. Looks good already, so... The head, I'm just pretty much gonna put this on here. And so here, there's this little thing that you can put in. And this should clip it, slide in just like that, and if not, then I know it's just for the other side. Let's see. And sometimes these can be like a little fiddly. I'm gonna try the other side first and see, like... Okay, it clips in easily, but I think the other side just might need a little more finesse. Or finagling. There we go. Almost there, one more part. Last one is B1. B1 is the gray one, so B1, 3 threes. Okay. Oh, it's like the little feathers, like in Robin Hood. So I'm actually gonna use these to clip just because like the little nubs here are like really tiny. And yeah, so to your point, Zoku, like sometimes I'll just like very lightly use my hands to get them out. This is mainly just like after I cut them.
So you've weakened it already.
Yeah, I've weakened the plastic's defenses. So here's the feathers, and then it's like this. Oh yeah, I guess for these, like, they don't matter. The alignment doesn't matter here, but... And then... Yeah, we have feathers on its head. And then one more piece, which is the B1s. So since these... Yeah, these are, like, pretty small, so... I'll just use more precise clippers. Handle these, and then I gotta see how they connect. Oh, so I guess these are just like caps for this one. They have a longer side to them. Oh, so in the instructions, these say that these are just like optional parts that you can attach, but we'll attach them for fun. I can understand how they get put together. Let's see. I guess like these are just like clip-on. And like the longer side. Okay, I guess they just clip on like this.
Very feathery.
Yeah, very archery feathery.
Looks so cool.
I think I put this on the wrong side. Let's see. Yeah, because the other one like clipped a lot better. Hold up. And then just one more piece. Where's C1? G2, G, C, C1. So these are like the more glowy type of plastics, so I'm just gonna use these. Yeah, honestly, some of like the colors of these, like they look really cool. Like this one is like a little glowy, like translucent.
Actually, I am curious. How do you pick what kits to build? Like what kits you want to build?
So like generally, I first look at like the grade. For me personally, like I'm big on real grade, which is like the 1 out of 144 scale, but it looks like a lot more detailed because I love details on them.
Mm-hmm.
It also depends on like money, like because so real grades tend to cost like 40 to like 30 to 40-ish US dollars depending on complexity, and even then there's like a tier of like real, like they call it like, what do you, the name escapes me, but it's just like it's like a set that you can only get in Japan. And I bought one of those before, and it was pretty expensive.
I think those are the P Bandai kits.
Yeah, the P Bandai kits, thank you. I gotta see how these attach.
My number one reasoning to buy something is, do I like the model kit, the mobile suit?
Oh, so in this case, Tall Geese is because you are a Wing fan.
Yes, but also this is kind of a weird exception. This is actually a case where I was just like, this looks like a really good kit. Like,
I buy kits also based on primarily looks. So first, like the type, like real grade or so, and the second is just like looks. And my confession is I've only watched Gundam Wing, and that was like a very long time ago.
okay, I've watched almost every single Gundam series, so like Wing doesn't stand out too much to me, but like there is something about how the Tall Geese is a really, really powerful Leo that I really like. So if it's a good kit and I like it enough, it goes both ways. Sometimes I'll settle for the kit because I like the Gundam.
I have the Master Grade Epion because they had right now on me. I haven't built it yet, but like they had like a Gundam like little mini convention near me, and I couldn't go to there unfortunately because of timing issues. But my friend got me a couple Gundams from there, and I'm excited to build the Master Grade Epion. Right, so next thing on the list is building the right arm. You know, time passes by fast when you don't think about it, so I will try to slightly speed it up a little bit. G1. So these two are the same, pretty much, so I will just clip them all out at once. Honestly, like, the God Hand clippers, like, they are really, really nice, like, because, especially, like, when I was really into it, like, I was like, I should probably invest in it, because I'm a big sucker for that, and then I realized I was just like, this is, like, such a worthwhile investment. Oh my goodness.
See, being on these showcases is dangerous for me, I'm learning. Because the last crafting showcase I was on for attract mode was on cross-stitching. And I regret to... I'm double-checking the chat real quick to make sure that Eliza and Scala Kitty are not here to know of my shame. I regret to inform them, the chat, that I did not buy a cross-stitching kit. But I did buy an embroidery kit.
Embroidery sounds fun.
It did. It looked fun when I was watching them, so I was like, okay, yeah, sure. Why not pick up a new hobby? Undiagnosed ADHD. But so we brought up Pokemon models earlier, and when we were in Pittsburgh, I say we meaning Sanjan and I, really. Sorry, Bill. But when we were in Pittsburgh, I went to like a local toy store, and they had some starter model kits, beginner kits that were like easy, like the toolless kind. And I got really curious about those too, and this is reigniting that interest again.
Oh yeah. Those are another good example of like SD Gundams. They're very simple, but so good for starters.
So this is not a good starter kit, the one that Sanjan's building, because it definitely does not look simple.
I think
Looks like one of the more
honestly
complicated
it's
ones,
yeah. I think the most I think it's still fine to get into because I think my first one was like a master grade. But like, I think a lot of this is just like reading it, and sometimes like I do not make for like the best reader. So 1, 6, and 7.
I have back near my lamp an SD God Gundam, or Burning Gundam for the localization, and that's a much, much older SD. It was only like $10. I would probably be able to do that about twice as fast as I'd be able to do the one Sanjan's doing right now.
I actually also have like a Hello Kitty like mini Gundam that they had, and like
I've seen those.
I can show it if we have like spare time if I finish this early. Honestly, if I showed everyone my collection, we'd be here for a pretty long time as well.
Who's to say we can't have an episode on that?
True.
But also, I wanted to like duck back to what Val was saying, because you said that was an older model. So what I'm hearing is these things got more complicated with time.
Absolutely. I think every single grade has gotten more complicated in time. Which is good for the high grades, because those are still like easy to build, but it's good when they look nice. That's why we wanted real grades in the first place, something that looked as nice as master grades, but sometimes the high grade just looks really nice.
Yeah, and it also like depends on the Gundam too.
Mm-hmm.
And also like sometimes Gundams do have hit and misses. Like the one I primarily remember is like the real grade Sinaju, and it has like a really complicated design.
I like on a whim bought a master grade 00 Quant, and like that thing falls apart at the slightest cough, and it would have been fine if I didn't watch the movie and hate the movie.
Yeah, the Sinaju was
That
like that too,
association
because
is
like
wrong.
I touch it and like the incredibly complex design like falls down, and I'm just like extremely sad.
Yeah.
So tentative,
Now-
generally like these A grades, like they tend to like connect their parts. So I also tend to use the fancier clippers on them directly. So it's
I'm gonna
A3.
go back to things that you both said at the start of the showcase now, because now you're talking about models falling apart. At the at the start of the showcase, you were like, "Yeah, built them, posed them." Val, you were like, "Sometimes play with them." I would flip out at the idea of like them falling apart if I tried to play with them.
I mean, again, it depends on the kit, it depends on the grade sometimes, it depends on if it's like a variant. One of the first master grades I did was the master grade Victory Gundam, which is, I don't know, the certain designer did it, and they tried to make it like perfectly canonically transformable, and so it doesn't stay together. And unlike the 00 Quant, I really like the Victory Gundam series of mechs, not the actual series. So
That
C5.
seems so frustrating. Like the reason why I say I would flip out is because so the closest I've gotten to building one of these is a Nendoroid, and like that is swapping out the parts on a Nendoroid, not like because you don't really have to build them. And my first one was a Guardian from Breath of the Wild. And it's posable, like you can like put little accessories in it to make it look like it's shooting the laser beam. I liked it. I was like, oh yeah, this is great. This is easy. So I bought a second one. This one was a humanoid. It's a character from Tokimeki Memorial Girls side. And the first time after I tried to like switch out his faceplate and pose him, his neck joint snapped on me.
Oh no.
It's still stuck in there in the head.
wow.
I confess I also like have another master grade Epion, but the chain weapon it has, it broke when I was like trying to pose it, and I was just like, no, that's literally what I bought you for.
I think my similar addendum to that is that I got the additional kit for the Victory, the core booster kit, just so I could like repair some parts.
So I'm gonna ask about that now. Like you showed the concrete earlier. How easy are these to fix?
it varies. Like, for example, like if these like clipped off, like if I brought out more, then like I could just use glue. But sometimes like it could be complex to like repair. I think in my experience, like for example, like the smaller parts or like just like these like tend to clip like snap more. And for these, just like it sucks because they're translucent, and I'm just like, and like even with glue, like they show like a little bit.
Yeah, and when they snap or break, like there's that white gash that the two of you were mentioning earlier, right? Like from the
Sometimes.
broken plastic.
Sometimes. I mean, sometimes it's not that visible. The best way to do it is to like bend the plastic rather than snap it to get that,
Yeah.
which is, when you tear out of the sprues, the frames.
Like the thing is you also have to be careful because like sometimes you might actually like for example snap out like the connecting part, and then that's where like it kind of sucks. But to like the best way when I've had that happen is just like to use glue to like glue it together and also hope that like it's not gonna ruin anything. Let's see.
At the end of the day, like the most playable and posable ones are actually always going to be the high grades. So if you can find like a really nice one of those, you're probably good. I've had some of my most fun just posing the high grade H1 Titus and the Unicorn.
Is Unicorn the one from The Witch from Mercury, or am I mixing them up?
No, that's
I'm also not a Gundam watcher.
Yeah, Unicorn's like one of the newest of the original continuity, so it was kind of pretty popular more recently, but I don't remember what the one from Witch from Mercury is called. I'd like just watch that too.
Hey, it's a moving arm.
Heck yeah.
And then I think we just have one more thing to make
It's alive!
Okay, so I had to apply more stickers. Hooray! Sticker number 17. These are both technically number 17.
Okay, so while we're applying stickers, then I gotta ask you, Val. Favorite series? This isn't a test, by the way. This isn't like you're a Gundam fan, name them all kind of thing. Just incredibly curious because, so I'm also most familiar with Wing because that was what was on air for me growing up. But I have a soft spot in my heart for the ridiculous designs of G Gundam.
Yes. Fun enough, I only got to see Wing as a child when I would visit my grandmother's because she had Cartoon Network before I did. By the time we got Cartoon Network, we had G Gundam. And that is one of the three I usually go to say is my favorites. G Gundam, Gundam 00, which is what got me back into Gundam. And honestly, it still holds up. And Zeta Gundam, just to like give Universal Century some particular notice. I would say Witch from Mercury is up there too, but it's only once you're ready for the trauma.
Okay.
Like I literally suggested G Gundam as an alternative to people after that if you wanted something more lighthearted.
That is good to know because I only know the important part, which is lesbians.
Yeah, lesbians, but also the classic of what is Gundam is children in war is bad.
Oh yeah, that okay, yes, that is the classic Gundam.
Mm-hmm. Which you don't really get with G Gundam because that's the martial arts tournament with super robots.
Martial arts tournament with super robots? That sounds so awesome.
It is. It's also incredibly racist.
I'd use the word xenophobic.
Okay, you know what? That's true. It's not intentionally racist. It's very stereotyped, and so, you have to be okay with it being of a certain era, I think.
Well, we have moving hands, I think. We have the right arm. Yeah, I should turn it. Looks pretty not too shabby. So I should like try to pose this here.
I am always going to be a fan of clear parts.
I love clear parts. I love the way they do it too. Okay, so now I need to do the right leg. So
On the note of legs and weird stickers that you put on before putting pieces together, I may have made a mistake. This is a very
Uh-oh.
strange mechanic for this leg here. I don't think I can salvage it either. It's mostly hidden, so it's kind of a weird choice.
you know, I'm gonna actually apply the sticker for the other arm before I move on to the legs, just so things are more uniform. Or just so this is an example of my dynamic trademark process. It's not trademark, but y'all get the idea.
Not trademark with that attitude.
True. You know,
Let's see if I can do this better on the other leg.
yeah, chat, also let me know if you're also crafting or building something. Doesn't have to be Gundams. Or if you're thinking about looking into building something. I have a couple Pokemon Nano blocks too. I was also very into that, but unfortunately, the thing called space exists. No, that's not too bad.
I have a half-built Sonic Lego set that fell at some point, so now it's just like a not built one. I need to get to that.
It just means you can build it again.
Exactly.
This.
I built my first nano block set recently. It was Krako, the lightning cloud from Kirby. I was not prepared for how tiny those pieces are.
You know, the Master Grade Depth Scythe was the first one, the first Gundam I've ever built.
Ooh. Do you prefer the TV designs or the Endless Waltz designs?
Is this question for me or Sanjan?
Yes.
I think I like the Endless Waltz designs better. Honestly, I gotta relook this up real quick.
I want someone to put a poll in chat.
Yes.
It's okay if you have 0 contacts for the poll. But TV designs versus Endless Waltz designs.
I think the Endless Waltz design was the one I looked at.
I think with Death Size specifically, I would agree with Endless Waltz. I think in general, though, I prefer TV, especially because I'm the weird one who feels like the wings, literal wings, are too impractical, but I also really like the TV Wing Zero's design. So much so that I got the Master Grade Proto Wing Zero when it came out. I was really excited for that.
I think the wings on the TV version are like a lot more black. But I think I picked that one when I was younger just mainly because like the wings were just like so extra.
Yeah. I like how in the model kit they actually fold up like the TV ones does.
Yeah, I love that they folded up.
Very vampire. Where did that sticker go?
Which sticker? Oh.
I was putting another one on the leg. It's gone.
I need to put the other wings on. So I'll just use these clippers real quick.
I think the other one I look at is the Sandrock. I think I really like the TV over the Endless Waltz for that too.
I think overall, like, my favorite Gundam, like, especially to build, was the Epion, because I'm all about its weapons, but also, like, I built the perfect grade, Ashtray, Red Ashtray, and I love, like, the sword.
Yeah.
sword just hits it so well for me. You can just go on it. If not, I can just change it. I guess with these, like, if I need to change the hands, do I show you all the... Aw. It's, like, too far off, like, because the way my desk is layered, like, I would take me a little bit. Okay. But yeah, there's a hat portion on the head, too. I totally forgot. Okay, I gotta find...
There's a hat?
I gotta find it. Oh,
Robin Hood needs his hat.
Yeah, Robin Hood needs a hat. So G28...
Okay, I might be getting a little too excited because I am thinking of... So I said G Gundam is stereotype. I was thinking of the sombrero.
Oh yeah, Tequila Gundam? Absolutely.
But it is okay if it's not a full-blown sombrero. Robin Hood wouldn't be wearing a sombrero, never mind that, but...
The thing about that is when you get over how, like, it is so stereotypical design, it's actually a really cool design. It's a nice looking Gundam.
But also have to say, like, I think, like, when I, like, got out of university and got a job, like, Gundams were, like, just, like, my first, oh my god, I'm an adult, let's go, type of hobby.
I feel that.
What's this? Okay. More stickers. Sticker 4 and 5. Oh my god, these are tiny. So this is 4 and 5, just for reference. These are tiny, tiny stickers. So forgive me if you won't see much of it, because I, like, generally, like, need to tend to, like, look very close. It's hard to even, like, get these stickers out.
Well, I found the sticker I lost. It's on my finger now.
I've had that happen so many more times than I care to admit.
But yeah, on that note, like, this is one of the bigger stickers that are on it, and I looked at it and I was just like, wait, why is this so small? So that's what I'm dealing with at the moment.
Oh god, okay. These are tiny stickers. Winnable. Oh my god, no! Okay. Wait, I think we got this first one. Yay! Alright. Oh my god, please! It's like I have to bend the sticker, and I don't want to bend it too much. It'll affect the other stickers. It's also just like a monumental task in getting those stickers out. It's the other raid. It's one of the many bosses of the Gundam raid. There we go. Then hat goes here. Where is this? That goes here if this fits in. There we go. And then there's Robin Hood's little hat.
Actually.
Oh my god. So like, let's see if I can sit on this. Okay. So I got the arms done. Now I'm gonna actually and get the body, just mainly because I want to like start putting it together and that it looks good. Like, chat can see it. so got these pieces, so A12 and 11. So generally, like with most Gundams, like you'll have like the background pieces, which usually is like on these like gray colored ones, and then you attach pieces, which are the colored ones, to it. So because these are just like more like kind of like pieces that get covered, I generally like don't like sand it or just like try too hard on like detailing it.
That's something that takes getting used to, figuring out which ones are... You don't really need to worry because they're not going to be very visible.
Yeah. So... A12 and...
Is that something you just learn from experience and seeing, or?
Yeah, generally, like, I try to look
I know
at...
this kind of stuff goes inside.
I generally, like, try to look at it, like, the instructions. And, like, generally, like, from what I can see, like, especially in real grade and, like, master grade, like, these pieces are, like, black or just, like, gray. They have been other colors, though, but typically black and gray.
Okay. It's not the prettiest, but that sticker was more of a success.
We take successes around here.
Yes.
I have... Oh yeah, I have 2 Gundams in my backlog. I have the Master Grade Epion, and then I have the Real Grade RX something, which is name I like... Which its full name, like, kind of escapes me.
You know what? I like calling it the the something.
It was the one that my friend bought for me when she was at, like, the...
The Gundam Con?
Yeah, the mini Gundam Con. What's this? It's supposed to go like this. So the thing that I got wrong was that this was like flipped the other way, like this little part here, because this is supposed to be like a little clipper and also it lets you like move it a little bit, like move the Gundam a little bit. So, and then there's like a little piece here that like clips onto it, like if you see there in the middle. So what I needed to do there was clip this. And now you have like sort of a beginnings of like a moving torso.
So even though this is considerably smaller, and like you know, I am thinking like Nendoroid as my like, mental base, it's still very posable.
I think this one might be somewhat posable. I'm not sure. We'll find out. So basically, like, I didn't know much about this. Because I typically don't build SDWs, honestly. And generally, like, these are, like, tiny, so they're not as posable, but also, like, I saw Robin and I was just like, I have to get this. I don't know which one
I would have
cut
seen
first.
that. And I was like, oh, H2 as an archer? I'm into it. Because I do actually really like the H2.
Trying to figure out where these parts go, because there's like the little very specific like part orientation that I had to consider. Because these are like the little, I think, just like the little connectors for the arms.
So, just in case, Sanjan, you are shrimping.
Am I shrimping?
Not anymore, you're not, but you were.
Yeah, I'm shrimping a little bit because I'm trying to like read and understand instructions as well. So I think these like go up here, and then like I'm supposed to click them up. And this is like one of the harder parts, because I do have to take into consideration the orientation of all this.
So other than Gundams, what other plastic models, robot model kits have the two of you built?
I've done mostly like nano blocks other than Gunpla.
Fun enough, my first model kit was an armored core for robot by Kotobukiya, which is notably far less quality of life than Bandai's model kits. So I was really thrown into the deep end with that one.
Like, but when you say less quality of life, I'm very curious to know now. Because I recently saw, I don't know what the name of it is, but I saw a kit for some robot with really friggin' awesome wings from Xenoblade Chronicles 2. This isn't even referencing our next episode. It was something I saw, but it was also Kotobukiya, and they were like, "Yeah, it's about Kotobukiya grade." Were the reviews on it? It's like, I don't know what that means.
Okay, I'd basically take this apart and just like look much closer, because I think I fudged up something. 811.
The way I describe Kotobukiya is like it airs towards what would be a master grade Gundam, but it has like a standard set of parts it uses. Like the thing that makes the sockets stay within the body for most of these kits are called polycaps, and it's like this one had all the same one, and it's you just put different ones in. And I don't know, it took more to understand what it was than when I went over to a Gundam kit and I'm like, oh, okay, so this is how this builds. This is how it makes it so that it stays secure instead of just being like, you gotta hope that the joint is tight enough.
Right now I'm having a hard time like figuring out like the body part. They're just like connecting the... Okay, I think I got one of them. They might be in there.
Yeah, sometimes they would need glue, but that's like the whole thing with Gundams like high grade was to be like, these are kits that don't need to be like glued together anymore.
Oh.
And it all just snaps together. This is like, it's not that bad, but it definitely doesn't have the dedication Bandai does to their Gundams. It might now though, but I don't know, because Kotobukiya tends to do most of the like popular non-anime mechs.
Yeah, I would imagine Bandai has a stranglehold on Gundam because, well, Bandai.
They're built on it, basically.
They're not giving that away.
There's like offshoot sets that have like metallic pieces that I've seen.
Oh yeah.
I'm not like they're made by like a different one that I think like it's not 100% enforced. Like I saw one of them, it was just like of the main Gundam from Iron Blooded Orphans. More sticker. Oh god. I gotta like be careful with this part. Just mainly because I don't know if I like applied it entirely like correctly. But I also like I spent a lot of time on this one. So like try to put this one down and like piece it out as I go. So one. Okay. So now I'm putting together the actual body of this, and this one has 2 stickers to apply. So E1, B1, 5. So these would like connect basically to the outer layer pieces. And then they do have stickers on these again, so I will apply them 8 and 9. So I think 8 is like the crest right here. And then number 9.
It's always funny to look at how small the body can be compared to the head of an SD.
Yeah, especially like since this one is like a chibi. Okay, I gotta. Yeah, the way I like to do these more complicated ones is that I do the edges first. It's like. I'll connect these edges, like the more obvious parts, and then just work my way through the rest of these. There we go. Oh no, part of this looks off. I think I just have to put some more towards there. I think there's like a small gap here, and actually, I think that looks okay. So yeah, this is just like the little, yeah, like the more like complicated ones, like the main difference between like a real grade and like a high grade, like for example, like they might have like an actual like red plastic portion for this rather than just like a sticker that you put on. At least that's what I've noticed. Let's see. So now I just have to attach these pieces together. I am not sure. Let's see. Yeah, I'm stripping for this one a little bit because I had to understand how these parts align together.
I'm wondering if that's a common problem. Like
No.
you look at it and you can't make heads or tails of how I'm gonna use the IKEA terms, how the wooden dowel fits in the hole.
There are certainly some that's like, I need to really orient this, how it shows on the instructions to have any idea. Sometimes there's symbols that will like point, like this is where that goes in that
Oh,
hole.
I didn't push this all the way in. Okay, I understand.
Is that also common?
Yeah,
Yes.
like this one wasn't like, because I didn't apply enough force to that, so that's why like the other piece is like getting trapped. I'd want to apply
Like,
this
with
one.
something so tiny, I would feel like always worry if I'm putting too much force.
I would say these things are like pretty like quite like they're like you can put a decent amount of force on them. I think I have to take these off to like kind of see how they come in. Okay, I see where it's like sort of slides in, but I think these like little dowel thingies are just like making it a little harder, at least on my part.
Wait, they're actual dowels. When I said use the wooden dowels from IKEA, it's because I really couldn't think of anything else, but they're actually dowels.
They kind of are, yeah. At least that's how I would describe them, maybe.
Oh, now I'm even more afraid of them breaking, and I'm not the one building this. I'm sorry. I probably should not be putting my anxiety onto you, Sanjan.
It's okay. I'm more like struggling with trying to like fully understand these instructions. Or so.
So I am a little curious if like there's Japanese text or like at all, or if it's just this plus this.
There's Japanese text mainly like on the beginning of the instructions, I would say.
Okay, so it really is just visual, like you were saying.
Yeah, it's mostly visual.
I'm actually noticing that for the instructions on this one that I'm doing, some of the things are clarifying, and it has both Japanese and English.
Yeah, I think this one also like has English, like base like English and Japanese text.
I don't think I've ever seen that before, though, so it's probably a new thing, and that seems like a newer one, too.
We recognize that this is popular worldwide. Please give us more money. Please don't sue the Stream Band Co.
That's how they felt. Where are our master grades?
I had to like really look at this. So these have like little slots for them. Am I just doing this wrong, trademark? I feel like I am. I think I was. Yep, I was. Alright, now I have to figure out how to get this out. There we go. I just have to slide this one in. And then now this should like make a lot more sense because I was like emotionally struggling. So as you, let me know if like you can't see it on the screen because I was just like struggling there for a long time. Like it might have been like off center, just like try to like get it closer. But yeah, basically like I had basically flipped it around.
Oh.
But yeah, also chat, like, if I get things, like, too off-centered, or, like, you don't see what I'm doing, just give me a friendly reminder, because...
I feel like leverage is a pretty good
God.
reason. Oh no! Okay, it's
We're
not
saved.
broken, it's just safe.
I've had lots of emotional horror stories with that. Okay, now this makes, like... 100 times, like, %. There we go. Oh my god. I think we did it. I think we defeated the evil. We did it. We defeated the evil. Another raid boss down. Let's see. Alright, so... that took a lot more time than I had intended. Welcome to Gundam building. So B5.
Like, I know, I can also... So, along with the ASMR, qualities of snipping and snapping. I really like how those two play with each other, by the way, snipping and snapping. But along with the ASMR qualities, like I can see where this is like kind of meditative.
Yeah.
It is definitely very meditative because like I've usually like watched it like do this while like, for example, like if I watch like someone else like streaming or like watching Lady Arcade or stuff, it's just like, and Vale's doing her own Gundam building too, so it's just like we're all joining in on the fun. Which Gundam were you building again, Vale?
The tall geese.
The Togi.
So not a Gundam.
Oh, gotcha.
Is okay. I can words, I promise. They let me on here because I can words. Is it the one with the tail?
No. That's the Epion.
I thought the tall geese also had there was a version of the tall geese that also had a tail. I felt
No.
like.
It's the big white Leo with a huge jetpack and also a shield and a big rifle. It has a silly helmet too.
I am looking this up because I could swear I've seen a white tail before. Like I know the Epion's the red one. That's
you
Zach's,
yeah, there's
Tallgeese
a
3.
Tallgeese 2 or 3. Yeah.
But you are not building that one.
Nope. I'm building the original.
Okay.
Stuff.
Is it actually called the tail, or am I making this stuff up again?
I mean, the Epion uses it as a chain sword, but when it transforms into its fighter mode, it is the tail of like the dragon.
Yeah, it's like a chain sword and like tail at this same
I will
time.
take that victory.
There's the back of it, and
And
then... Oh yeah, since we can, we might as well, like, I'm just making sure I don't have to, like, do anything special in terms of, like, attaching. Oh my god, the head is, like, so big compared to, like, everything else.
SD, baby!
This one is the left arm. Right arm.
Honestly, SD really is accurate for what it stands for, which is super deformed.
Probably.
See that?
There we go.
Now I'm just thinking about like the development line between the tall geese and the Epion. Because it's like Zex Marquis, he was in the tall geese, and then he was in the Epion, but then it was Trey's in the tall geese too, and then they combined all of that for Zex into the tall geese 3 for the movie.
The movie being Endless Waltz.
Yeah.
Hey, look, we have now arms.
That's
It's
most of
looking
the
really nicely formed.
Yeah. Okay, and now we just need to build the legs. And I still need to technically build the waist too. Actually, let's build the waist next. And this should be like almost the last of the stickers. No, there's still one more set, but this one's like really close. I'm just gonna use the precise snippers. And I gotta see Dutch. Okay, B14. Oh, this is like, dang, this is pretty detailed.
Like when you were holding up the half body earlier, it looked detailed.
Yeah, let me put the half body in like in-camera view. While
I think we both just had an "oh, that's cool" moment for our respective kids.
I should also prop this up. Sticker number 14.
I'm gonna make the same request to you, Vel, that I did of Scala with the other showcase. Could you please share a picture of if you're comfortable, or if you're okay with sharing unfinished pictures, because I figured it's definitely not going to be finished by the end of the showcase based off what you were saying about master grades and real grades and high grades earlier. Would you mind sharing a picture of it, though? In your Lady Arcadia's Discord.
I will do that. It might just be like a leg and a half, though.
Yeah, but I want to see what you think is really cool, which is why I'm asking.
Yeah. I can describe it for a moment. Because there's like an ankle guard armor that you just kind of like place on top of the leg, and then you connect the inner frame of the leg, and it just kind of sits there floating. And in a few steps, I'm going to actually push it up and snap it into the parts I'm about to put onto it. Which is it's pretty neat engineering right there.
Yeah, like thinking about, oh, this is how it comes together. That is a cool moment.
I've also been comparing this the whole time to like the real grade RX-78, the original Gundam, and how that came with like pre-constructed inner frames, and this doesn't do that. It has some of the same types of plastic, but you actually construct the frames. And they're way more efficient from what I can tell so far just by the legs. It's really cool.
Alright, it's getting there.
Where is this piece? Oh, that's wrong frame.
I have a decent amount of horror stories, especially when I was building out like the perfect grades, where like I would just like lose like pieces, and it'd take me like an hour to like find where those pieces are, especially if they're like the tiny connector pieces. I don't know. I'm not sure if you have any funny horror stories.
I mean, I've been dropping pieces all stream so far. I'm just surprised none of them have gone into the other dimension to wait for a bit.
No. Why'd you raise that flag?
Because I live that flag. Whether it's sewing or model kits or what have you, like, something as small is going to fall on the ground, and if I'm unlucky, it's not going to be there until I step on it later.
That's like the other worst part.
Experience.
Yeah.
That is just like one of the worst parts, which reminds me of just like more than once like I've actually stepped on like especially when you're stepping on it, like when you're like walking pretty fast and not paying attention, like it hurts. Yeah, this part's pretty complicated, so like I've been trying to like kind of show it best I can. There's like, if you see here, like the little side pieces too, like, and then I had to like kind of just like fold them nicely. This one came out pretty good though. And then I had to do it for the other side. Alright, we've got about 15 minutes and a little more, I think, of so I will try to speed it up slightly on this. It's the cursed body that took me a lot of time.
1 minute. What's not 1 minute? Wow, that's a lot of work for 1 minute. 1 hour and 35 minutes right now. So yeah, you've got about 25.
Okay, I think that should be enough because like we're closing in on finishing up all the other parts, honestly. So like honestly, like I think with most things, it just takes me like a moment to settle in, and then like once I settle in, it's just like, all right, let's do this.
You've locked in.
I'm locked in. Now, this part is like honestly a little folded up more than I like, but I think this is just like the other hard sticker to apply because like this one is just like delicate and like has a bunch of creases and folds. And then the waist portion wise, A14, she's 2.7.
So perhaps I should not be asking for this, but what are your worst Gunpla horror stories?
All of them have either like involved like dropping it and like because I dropped like a tiny like piece like these little pieces and like it was like the main piece that I had needed and it would take and I think like because my desk was like pretty small at my like when I was still living with my parents, so like it took me like an hour to find it and it was also just like under like so like I have like the IKEA drawers and then they had like the little gap under.
Oh.
So I had to take like the
sorry.
desk apart for it. So I'm just like sitting here like emotionally seething. And like internally saying every single curses to the evil Gunpla gods for making me do that.
I salute your strength in keeping that internal.
That's A14.
I'm not really sure because like I'm pretty numb to like accidental physical harm and or breaking pieces at this point. But I think I did have like a really bad break that like upset me. It might have been the 00 Quant, but I feel like there was another one that like had more emotional value added to it.
There were more?
Yeah. I actually don't display a lot of my kits for reason.
I'm beginning to kind of get an idea of the reason. You've worked so hard on these and then what?
Yeah, sometimes it's just like it has a good fall and you're too lazy to put it back together. Sometimes it's really easy to just put back together. Sometimes you just don't want to dust them. Sometimes dusting them is what caused the problem.
Yeah, I had to be like really careful with
that
dusting them because they do like because it's plastic, it does collect a lot of dust.
Yeah, so how do you dust these things? Like
either
use
very
the air blowy. I can words. I promise. The air blowy thing, or like an actual duster.
I use like a feather duster.
I feel like honestly the air blowy is the more common way to go about it, but like then you have to buy those and not just like Swiffers. If I'm being lazy, I'll just like kind of tap it lightly and then say whatever, that's fine. But if I want to like give it a nice dust, I'll actually like pick it up and like move around some of its parts, maybe take off the head so I can like get in the corners.
For like the more precise ones, I do like to like, you know, like those little makeup like brushes. You can use also like those makeup brushes to do that as well. For like a more precise clean.
I hadn't considered that. But there's also like the electric air dusters now. Though those really just tend to sound like a vacuum to me, so they might be too powerful for these.
I definitely personally would be like really scared of using that. Just because like yeah, those feather dusters are powerful and I know like I have one that I use like to dust off my computer. Like the insides of my computer. They are like quite strong. Oh. D1, 2.
Someone mentions in chat losing a piece in carpeting, and My heart hurts for you.
The carpet has eaten it.
The V-fin and oh no, that's like one of the worst things. Yeah, that is.
I might need more context to what a V-fin is then.
I think of this as just like a little fin, like you think of these, but like a lot thinner.
It's the trademark front antenna on the Gundam.
Yeah, also like the antenna.
Oh, my heart is hurting for you even more now.
Yeah. And those are pretty small in like the high grades, the real grades and such.
So D13, D3. I'm saying these things like in my head just mainly because like I've just like said it in my like looked at the steps and I'm just like I don't know which one I had to like cut. Also. And then I've also cut the wrong ones before and like tried to connect them and I'm just sitting here just thinking like, why won't they connect? And then I'm just like, oh. Like, oh yeah. It's supposed to do the thing.
Or worse, you completely miss a piece in the chain of what you're connecting.
Yes, I've done that too. Like, especially like real grades, just like also just like such a tragedy. That happened. Did I really do this wrong? Uh-oh. Should be right. Okay. D1. Here's the little feetsies. So I did the right leg, so right here, and connect it. There's G1. And I believe here, like, they have like a little like the little cover for it. I'm gonna make the left leg and then I'm gonna connect it all together and then we just have the weapons left. Which Robin Hood has a bow. Or Gundam Robin Hood has a bow.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably very excited for the bow. more so than the Gundam. I'm just really fascinated by like weaponry and this is like fantasy weaponry or sci-fi weaponry brought to life. So I'm really excited for the bow part.
Seven.
Like with as mentioned, like not the talkies you're currently building, because that one has a really cool shield though. It's stout and round, and that's cool to me. But like the one that we were talking about earlier that has a chainsword, and chainswords are cool.
Yeah.
And we're almost there already. Yeah, you can pass like it's easy to like really pass time. doing these. Definitely flies by really quick. It's this. Yep. I guess it's the same piece. Bottom. D3, which is the last one of these. It's always satisfying, like, once you, like, get more into it and there's, like, these are, like, all empty. You're just like, yes!
Okay, return of the stupid question. What do you do with those? You keep the manuals, but...
I usually throw them away.
Yeah, you can't really recycle them in America. Unfortunately, in Japan, there's like you can actually take them to like Gunpla stores and they'll recycle them, I think.
That is neat and also boo. But yeah, Japan like separates their plastic recycling into 7. It might be more now, but the last time it was there, it was like 7 different kinds, I think.
When I was younger, I did put them in the recyclables, but I'm pretty sure they were just like tossed.
Yeah, unfortunately here it's just like regular trash, and I think something to note is that like these things do like produce like a lot of plastic.
A lot of little plastic shreds.
Yeah. And also just like it's very much a big thing. It's not as much with this because like honestly these have been like very precise. Just nice. It's like a really big thing to where like
Honestly, lately what I do is I shave into the box and I just keep the frames, and so like everything is just there.
just looking at this and making sure I got it right, because sometimes I do flip these feet, and like learning to tell left from right, like especially left leg and right leg, especially if like if they're asymmetrical, is like also a task in itself sometimes.
Like at some point in my instructions, I was doing doubles of each step for each leg, and then I realized this is no longer a double, this is just the right leg. Okay.
Yeah, I've done that like a lot as well.
If it were a lighter grade than this, I would do both at the same time. I would go back and forth between the different parts of the steps. But there are too many small pieces.
And I don't remember the grade that Sanjan mentioned that was like camera height at the start of the stream. Was it master? Real? Like the really tall one. But so this one we're expecting, okay, yeah, we'll finish within like the time of the stream because you're basically done, Sanjan. But how do you tackle it when it's like a longer project? Like you said you had just finished a leg, Val. So do you just like go back day after day, and how do you not lose track of where you were at? It might have been perfect grade. Thank you, chat.
Perfect
I
grade for
have built a
large,
perfect
complicated, and
grade.
expensive one.
Yeah. I built, so when I was building the red one, like I would basically put like a marker everywhere also. I'm trying to see this. I'm using my phone as like the overhead camera, so look. It stands too. It's standing. It's hard to see because like I have this like overhead, but here. If you can also see like from, if you also want like a camera, the webcam view.
Now we can sell how big it is compared to you.
The scale. I should honestly do that. Just like also like show me like what the perfect grade for scale. All right, so now we have the element arms. All right, I'm building the bow now. Oh, okay. So the cool thing is that these become the bow. So
Oh, cool.
yeah.
It's Transformers.
Yeah, it's Transformers.
Another franchise I don't really know anything about.
Oh, this is a difficult one to clip, isn't it? Okay, I kind of need the precise ones for these. I don't want to clip off more than I should. So I think... Oh, interesting. Yeah, so this is just like the bow. Story of my life. Where's the thinking trigger?
See, I got completely sidetracked on my current pieces right now. I'm like, okay, what do I still need to do? I don't know how I'd handle a perfect grade.
I think the way I
There's
handled
so
it was
much.
just, yeah, like there was a lot like that I had to keep track of, like when I was building off my perfect grade. Crap, I don't know how these connect. My
That's not even
bow.
accounting for. I got this for like Christmas years ago and haven't touched it yet. And I had a half-built 00 riser Trans Am that I inherited. There was like a full year gap between times when I've actually placed it, and that's just a high grade. That was a quick build when I decided to buckle down and just
Oh.
finish it. And
It's
yeah.
literally Transformers, so this is the bow. And then
Ooh.
you can
That's so
attach it
cool.
to Robin Hood like this. And then these little parts here also transform, I believe.
No, Gunpla, you can't be cool. You can't be cool like this. You can't make me want to pick up another hobby.
So there you go. Let's see if I can... Yeah, so there's the bow. That's honestly, like, really cool. And then webcam as well.
The bow is bigger than the Gundam.
Come on. Yeah, I'm like also struggling trying to like put it on like the hand. Please. This is half of my battle. Okay, well the arm ripped off, like it didn't literally rip off, but like it just went off. So I guess I'll just connect it this way. So now it's attached to here. Like sometimes it's just easier, a lot easier just to like do it through here. And just twist
then
this.
reattach it?
Yeah. And then, yeah. It's holding a bow. And then also there's, I guess, a little stand that you can have for this too. Maybe? Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, it's just this little stand. up real quick. So here's the stand for it, and then you could also just put like the little support mech. Because this head also transforms. We'll show this off. The support mech stuff into. So this transforms into like a little mini mech thing. So well.
It's so small. How does it? Wow.
You take off the helmet and the feather. Oh, I guess you just turn it, and then you move shoulder parts. Shoulder parts. So there's these little clippers here that it clips to, I think. Oh, the shoulders. Like these low shoulders right here, they clip off, or clip them off as well. Okay. Ah. Okay.
Also, for like the models that can do this, how often do you end up playing around with them and like the transforming part?
I personally don't do too much, just mainly because it is very time consuming. Sometimes to like do that. But I like at least try to do it once. Like for style points. Okay. Oh. This. And then this. Let me do the other piece because it took me a second to figure that out. I think this attaches to right here. On. So that's like the little bird mini mech that Robin Hood, or that Gunpla Robin Hood has. Then you can put it on a stand.
Like a really cool helmet still.
Yeah, it looks very helmet-ish. And then you can put it on the little stand here that they have. And it's also like an attachable, like, I think you can also attach it. Sorry for being off camera. I'm just trying to figure this thing out. Okay. Yeah, but yeah, here's it on a little stand here. It says bird type support mech in the picture here. And it attaches like that. So basically, like, it's supposed to be an animation of, like, the little, like... Here, let me take off the bow parts. Like, I think it's supposed to be, like, animation-wise, like, Robin Hood, like, shooting, like, this part out, like, something like this. So it's, like, so it's, like, shoot, or... Let me see if I can pose this, like, on here, like...
I can see the vision.
So, like, it's firing off its support mech into the sky. Whee! Okay.
Every ranger needs a bird, I think,
Yep.
maybe.
Okay, yeah, so... Yeah, I gotta put it back on the bow, because I'm here for the bow. We are here for... putting its bow. And then I'll quickly show off, like, the scale of the perfect raid versus me. Or at least try to the best I can on the webcam. Or I guess, like, give it, like, the larvae, scale. Figure out how to connect this. So there's this, and then it's bird, and then let me go fetch my perfect grade astray and show off scale wise, and then we'll call it from there.
Excellent. I've always wondered what kind of perfect grade I'd want, because there's not a lot to choose from. I don't know if I'd even be able to decide because of the price.
I do want to say that when you turned the light on, Sanjan, it gave me like the anime ending effect.
So this is the perfect grade Gundam Astray.
Holy crap!
So this is the Larvae the computer. Shout out to our tech crew.
That's
Scale.
the computer our stream is running on.
And
It's taller than
so-
the computer.
Yeah, like this all there's like a little lit up part. I also have the perfect grade Gundam Exia, which I would. It's a lot of work to bring that out, more so than this. But yeah, here's also
let's keep that intact.
the huge like samurai sword that it has, and I think it's like sheath. Like you can also unsheath this. Let me like carefully put this down. But yeah, this thing like fills my entire screen. So you can also unsheath this weapon. Let me see if I can. Oh, it went out by itself. Okay, that's fine. I don't mind. So, actually, like this is the sword, and then you could actually also unsheath it like this. Whoosh. Honestly, putting this together, which is like probably the sword is like the most awesome part, and the fact that it has a sheath
so
too.
shiny, and yes, the sheath. I would. Go
You can hear it too, like when you make that animation of like it unsheathing and such, and like honestly, it's just like freaking awesome. Let me reattach this real quick, cause like basically it's attached. Like I don't know if you can. I'll show through this main head. Like there's a little part here behind the shield that it attaches to. How did I attach this again? This. Yeah, this was the first one that I had built because I was just like, I think I saw it like on sale slightly one time, and I was just like, I need this in my life. I need it, and then yeah, Like,
that's a
especially with
shame.
like perfect grades, like you see like these are like actual like hands, and like these individual parts like on the hands like also move. Yes, this is a perfect grade Red Astray. So I'm holding it up right here. Yeah, I could also like later like I'll also post a picture of like my Gundam collections in the Lady Arcaders Discord for people who are interested. But yeah, that's it. For me, we built Robin Hood in about 2 hours, give or take. I'm just throwing all of this out. So there's a little bird helm, the bird support mech. There's Robin Hood, and honestly, like, I like these SDs just mainly because I didn't have to do like that much cleanup, but also like you can. So I didn't have time to do this, but you can also do like marker lines on these, and like it pops out and makes it look really nice.
That sounds really neat.
Beautiful. And meanwhile, I indeed did a leg and a half.
Yay! Let's go. So
Progress.
yeah, I would like to thank everyone for coming over and watching the showcase. We all love robots, and honestly, it's been like one of my big things. And I pitched the idea of just like, especially like at seeing like the Fashion Week, I was just like, you know, what if I did Gundams? And then I was just like, no, I have to do this.
There are a lot of robot games.
There is.
True.
Like Sakura Wars is a series I personally am a huge fan of that also has robot kits. Someone please build one for me.
Yeah. I'd also like to really thank Zoku for sitting here watching me build this for 2 hours and asking lots of questions. I really appreciate it.
No, I appreciate you and Vale both answering my questions and showing me how cool Gunpla can be. Like I said, this is dangerous. Don't get me into another hobby. Except, yeah, maybe it is a little too late.
No, it's okay. I think this is like my more like beginner hobby, but or like the other more blessed hobby. The other hobby that I unfortunately got roped into was keyboard building. We won't get into that.
Okay, maybe I will start with the Pokemon.
I think
kits
I
first.
think the Pokemon nanoblocks are really good to get into, in my personal opinion.
Incredibly
And they are very-
dangerous.
This
But
was
yeah.
really fun.
Yeah, thanks Valeria for just joining in and vibing, and thank you also just like for joining in on the crafting fun. This is a really fun thing, and it's a lot different from like because I usually only do speedrunning, so like it's nice to like share my not speedrunning hobbies.
Yeah.
Other than
So
that,
this is where I asked a dangerous question. We'll do it again, right?
perhaps. I mean, I think basically like if I do build another one, it'll probably be like one of the master grades or the real grades. It'll just probably have to be split up because it'll take a good long time. Like this took like a little over 2 hours. I'm not sure what the timer was.
2 hours, 3 minutes, and 16 seconds. But in fairness, there was that very tricky dowel part in the
Yeah.
middle.
Perhaps a ladies' night where we all just build.
You know, just all like showcase or us like building stuff, like Gunpla or cross stitching or whatnot. But yeah, do you two have anything else y'all wanted to say?
Thank you for having me, and again for can talk for answering my questions when I was unable to word them. No, folks, go buy tickets to Lady Arcaders Out of Bounds Toronto, because if you somehow want to hear more of me blabbing, I will be there. And if not, that's okay. We are going to continue to have a track mode. I won't be on next week's episode.
Beautiful. Where can we find you, Sanjan?
You can find me at twitch.tv/_Sanjan. I'm currently working on Chrono Cross speedruns, which is like a 6-hour speedrun. I recently got like a really good PB in there, but I will be continuing to work because my ultimate goal is I have like a 554 and I'm trying to get a sub 550. But I do have to go through my training arc, and I'm also am flying to Limit Break to help to do stuff over there. So you might see me over there once or twice.
Oh yeah, so am I. Go check out RPG Limit Break, raising money for NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. I'm very good at promoting this stuff.
Very cool. Is there anywhere else we can find you, Zoku?
Usually I just hang out behind the scenes for things like this and other charity events. So hey, if you're interested, if you like video games, you don't have to be a speedrunner or even be good at games, because God knows I'm not, to be part of these things. Just go ahead and volunteer. We'd love to have you. Even if it's not on Lady Arcaders, because maybe you don't identify as a femme or a woman or lady, that's cool. Join in any kind of event. They'd love to have you there.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you again. We're going to go to the break screen for a bit, and then I'll be back with a bit of announcements. Thank you again, Sanjan. It is always fun to build Gunpla with people, and that was a really cool one. It was very interesting to refresh on the basics. There have been no shortage of cool and creative showcases from our lovely ladies, and we're always looking for more. We want to see your favorites games, your favorite run, your favorite thing. So get those attract mode submissions in over at ladyarcaders.com/start. As for the next ones we have for you, there will be 2 RPGs. Pikal will be showing us the first 3 chapters of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and then Dragarin will be taking us all the way to the 141st floor of the Palace of the Dead in Final Fantasy XIV. And you can catch both of those on Sunday, May 18th at 2 p.m. Eastern. Now, for today's raid, we're going to be going to Nacho Burrito, who's currently doing some crocheting so we can continue the crafting pattern. And that's all we have for you tonight. Thank you so much for joining us and hanging and watching. Take care!